We have a lot of people today. Thank you so much. My name is Rachel. I'm co-founder and CRO of Conversation One, and I have with me here Pierre.
So hi everyone, I'm in charge of innovation at Finastra, which is the third largest financial technology provider in the world.
All right, great. So before we start, I guess you'll figure it out. We're talking about banking and conversational solution for banks. How many of you are in the finance industry, banking, credit unions, insurance, credit card companies? Okay, that's pretty cool. And you've been all working about conversational solutions until now, or? Oh, that's pretty less. Okay, good. So hopefully by the end of today, you guys will be, jumping on your computers and start building, your conversational solutions and strategies, and just help you to figure out how it's done correctly. So I'll start with a short introduction as to what Pierre and me are actually doing here. So just like I said, I'm a co-founder and CRO at a company called Conversation One. We are a build once, deploy anywhere platform for conversational solutions. We're focusing on financial institutions, but not only. The idea behind our platform is the capability to build the business logic of your automatic conversational solutions. And that could be anything, that you, let's take the banking example from, checking on the balance or doing transactions or anything of that kind. And using our platform, we just take it to all the different devices and channels. And I use conversation and not just voice, because when we're looking into conversational solution, it's a whole strategy. It's the Alexa, but it's also the Google Home. It's the Google Assistant, but it's also a texting solution. It's a chatbot, but it's also your old IVR systems that are currently fading and are being replaced by new devices. 8 months ago, my team met with Pierre's team at the Money 2020 in Vegas, and they started thinking about how we could enable the 9,000 clients of Finastra. All of them are financial institutions. Maybe some of them are customers as well. How we can enable them to actually join this voice revolution. How we can bring the voice into the banking industry, not to make it too complex, but then again, to help them serve their clients much better.
Yeah, exactly. And so what we've seen at Finastra is that there is a transformational revolution that's happening right now for the banks and the financial institutions. It comes in threefold. First one is open banking, which is basically changing completely the way you're supposed to expose data via REST API, but also fintech that are disrupting the way your customers are going to interact with banks, and also more demanding customers. Customers are used to using iPhone or Google services, and they expect the same level of services from their banks. So how do you tackle this? The way we did it at Finastra is by creating an open platform where fintech, such as Conversation One, but also bank, integrator, student, can collaborate all together to create innovative and elegant solutions from their customer. The result of this was a shift in point of view for the banks on open banking, for example, seeing this instead of as a constraint, but an opportunity for monetizing data, or seeing fintech not as an enemy, but as a collaborator to create new solutions. And finally, creating convenience for their customer, because that's exactly why we're all here today, is to find a way to have our customer interacting in a much convenient way with the bank.
Yeah. So today what we want to do is actually demo what the Finastra team did, leveraging our platform and providing their clients with the capability to provide conversational solution to their clients. We're going to take a few moments to take a look at our platform, at the Conversation One platform. I want to walk you through very simple steps that would help you to jumpstart. And then I'll hand over to Pierre to show you how it's done on their backend and how they're connecting their backend services to our front-end conversational capabilities. But before we get into the more technical things and talking a little bit more about how we build it, let's try and understand what is it that we're building. So we prepared a very short demo that demonstrates the cooperation and the combination of the two platforms. And if it's okay with you guys, then we'll be happy to present it. I just wanted to say very quick, if you guys have questions, if you have anything that is not clear, or you just think something is not working, so please let us know. Let's make it very interactive so no one is falling asleep. So let's start, right?
Sure. So I don't know if you've all seen the launch of the Falcon Heavy from SpaceX. It was like pretty amazing. You see like this rocket going in the air, and then it opened, and there is a car inside, and the car starts flying through space, going like towards Mars. That was so exciting. I mean, have you seen it, Rachel?
Yeah, has anyone seen it? Do you guys know what we're talking about? The David Bowie song in the background and everything? Yeah?
And so since then, I was like, I really want a car like that. Okay, I guess it worked pretty well for them, and I was like, how can I get a Tesla Model X? And so that's really the question: how am I able to get this car? Because that's what I want right now.
Well, for me, even if I wanted it, I don't think I can afford it, Pierre. I'm sorry.
It's like $79,500.
Well, yeah,
according to internet.
We don't make those salaries yet at my startup. Maybe you do that at Finastra, but I don't know, like maybe check up on your bank or something like that. Maybe there's an Alexa app that can help you figure that out.
Okay, well, let's give it a shot then. Let's ask Alexa, right? So, Alexa, ask Finastra Bank if I can purchase a new car.
Sure, I can help with that. How much does the car cost?
So it's $79,500 US.
Crazy.
To provide you with the information, I would need your 4-digit PIN code.
So that's to access my bank. So it's 5789.
Thank you. Your PIN code is correct. Your checking account balance is $5,500 and your saving account balance is $15,300.
Not enough,
Unfortunately, it seems like you don't have enough funds to buy a new car.
Okay.
We do have great auto loan rates now. Would you like me to set up a loan for you?
Wait, she can do that? Yes, sure.
Do you authorize me to run a credit report for you?
Yes.
Can you confirm the last 4-digit of your social security number?
3112.
Everyone write it down?
Thank you. Let me ask you a few questions to validate the loan process. Do you still work at Finastra in the same position?
Finastra, yes, same position.
Great. How long would you like the loan to be? 3, 4, 5, or 6 years?
It's $80,000. Take the longest.
Yeah. The longest, 6 years.
Okay. I was able to get you a personalized loan for 6 years at 1.9% annual percentage rate. This would cost you $1,236 per month for 72 months for a total payment of $80,992, and there are no finance charges. Are you okay with the terms?
Sure, let's do it.
Great. The loan is in process and will be validated in the next 5 minutes. Do you want me to text you the information?
Okay.
Great. The message is on its way. You will also receive the T&C by email and will be asked to digitally sign the loan documents. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Well, no, thank you, Alexa. You've been wonderful.
You are welcomed.
Okay, well, everyone congratulate Pierre. He now has a wonderful debt of $80,000. Way to go, Pierre.
But I have a new car. So
But you
that's
have a
good.
new car. All the girls are going to come and be with you. So,
What? No, but she can send the term and condition directly to the provider of the car.
yeah. That's a great
But
question
that's a
because
good question.
it's bringing us into conversational and context and how much can Alexa actually combine or any other solution combine from what it already knows about you. And trust me, they know a lot. And then how it actually end up serving you and helping you to reach your goals. So what we've been able to see here in this demo is a combination of a lot of systems that are talking to Conversation One to provide with this information. We had checking on account balances. We had authentication process to make sure that we're really talking with Pierre. We had a second authentication process checking on the social security number. And we actually were able to complete a full application process to grant Pierre with the loan that he was expecting to.
And produce the document. And what's interesting here is like, you hear the conversation and the way it went, the different questions that were asked, like, are you still working in this company? How much is your collateral? That's exactly the kind of question that you want when you create a loan. And all of those follow the US regulation, meaning that the credit check affirmation and all of this is exactly the kind of step that you need to follow the regulation to create a loan. So it's not just a conversation, it's a conversation that is exactly what's needed to create this kind of loan.
Mm-hmm. And what we've seen here using our platform is an Alexa solution, but the same functionality is now available for all of their clients on Google Home, the Google Assistant, on a Facebook Messenger bot if they'd like to enable it, on their own chat bot, on a texting solution, on a voice bot in their app, and also on a phone assistant. So instead of going and chasing your tail after each device, you can just do it all in one place and let us take care of that. If there are no questions here, I'd like to show, whoa, okay, yes.
So in some financial applications, obviously the information may not be at hand.
Mm-hmm.
And with the 8-second timeout, how do you get around that? Will it hold the application in an incomplete state until you get the information and pick up the conversation where you left off? Or
Yeah.
you have to go in and get the information and go through it again?
So I think there are a couple of ways to handle this. I can say how our clients are handling it. So first of all, we are connecting directly to the API. So best case scenario, we get direct access. It's working fast. Everything's okay. When it doesn't work this way, we try to create a conversation around it. So just think about when you're building a conversational solution, you're not mimicking the way you would use it on a mobile app or on the web. So don't do that transfer from web to voice. Do the transfer from a real person to a real voice. So in that case, if I was going to the bank talking to a banker and I would say, okay, I need a loan, he would have to figure out something on their computer, right? So at that time, he would either stare at me or he would just say, hey, Rachel, what's going on with you, right? What have you been doing right now? Or would you mind if I wait a few seconds just to refresh the data? And this is exactly what our solution is doing. So we're trying to keep it up with the issue of when it's breaking. And we tell you, we could give you some more information. We're refreshing the data. Would you like to hear that? And once the data is available, we provide it to the user.
Some of the security portion of the authenticating, after 8 seconds, I believe you have to re-authenticate in unless you continue the conversation.
Well, yeah. So this is again where again on our platform the way that it works, but you could play it the way you like. What we do is whenever we identify that there is a silent from the user side and we know that he's not closing the session, we do a re-prompt. So we ask you, do you want to hear this and that? Or would you like me to tell you about this? So this actually also gives you a timeout or a place where you can introduce new features that you have. One of the most challenging thing around voice is that maybe also different from chatbots and definitely website or mobile is you don't have anything that you can show, right? There is the Alexa, the Echo Show and all that. You can take advantage. But in general, to think of it, you have to provide the user with the certainty that it can ask you things. So those spots are actually very useful for that. He was first. So I'll have to kill you if I tell you that. Well, this is the secret sauce at the end. So our goal is to enable, I'll start from the second question. So the goal is actually to make it very easy for the bank or any institution to just concentrate on the business logic. I would never have known how to take a loan, right? Pierre know how to do it. This is what they do. We provide the platform for it, so we know how to do the authentication on all the different platforms. It is correct, however, for the bank, they would have to create a Google account, they would have to create an Alexa account, an Amazon account, a Facebook account, wherever they want to pursue their solution. But after they do that, we take care of it. We actually also do the deployment from our platform automatically to those services on the go as you continue to grow your solution and create more use cases and support more channels. So that's for the second question. The first question, it's, contextual conversation and continuous conversation across all channels. So definitely, I always say that it's never just one point. So we start with Alexa at home. We go into our car. We have our phone. There are so many things that I always remember when I'm driving and I can't do. So I can take it on my phone. I can get to my office and start it on Cortana on my computer. So it's very important to keep that continuity.
Just to add a little bit on the authorization, the way it works also, they need to authenticate with us, with a scope, right? So they would authenticate with us because they have an application token. And if it was deployed, because it will end up being an app on our app store, okay, on the Finastra app store. And when this app is deployed locally, then you have an account with Conversation One. And this Conversation One has an account, has a connectivity with us. We get the authorization there and the scope. That's how I know I can access only the data of this user through the PIN code. So the PIN code is not just a PIN code, it's much further than that. It's following the full OAuth 2.0 stack and giving me the bearer token that give me the access to specifically what I need to have.
Yep.
So actually, a two-point question. And I'm
Okay.
So if I give you the authorization code 1234, do you have the capability for multi-authentication? Let me send you another number and you input it using some other means?
So basically, we provide multiple authentication factor layers. So it could be in the form of a one-time password. So that's when you when you log in first, you provide with that 4-digit PIN code, and then you have it. A second layer of authentication could be in the form of a one-time password that is being sent to your mobile phone. And then only after you provide it, you can complete a process. It's also a matter of user experience. You don't want, if you're going to ask me for every time I'm checking on my balance to go and check my one-time password, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to go to my phone. Exactly. For a loan, for checking on my SSN, stuff like that, I would definitely go and I would appreciate it as an end user to do that.
So my other question had to do with this new thing, new technical term, GDPR. So is that something Finestra would handle, or is that something Conversation One would get involved with?
I think it's both ands.
So then what's your answer?
My answer is that we're working on it. No, so the platform is already ISO compliant. We're doing SOC 2 right now. GDPR is just a process within it. It's mostly on the bank side eventually, so it's not as crazy as it sounds. It's just you just have to be honest with your clients, and as far as our platform is concerned, then we're okay with it. I see you leaving. That's not nice, but that's okay.
The voice prompt is, we bought your car, do I have your permission to do X, Y, and Z?
Yeah. It actually asks Pierre if he's okay, for example, if we run the credit score.
True, yes.
Yeah, and he said yes. Well,
I don't know if that's adequate for GDPR, that's what I asked.
I know, but I think that on the GDPR, what you'll do is once you, so every time, so Pierre was able to speak to the Alexa or the Google because he already did a full authentication process, just like you would log into your mobile app or something like that. So he went through this. So so that GDPR part will be on that screen when you first log in. Yeah.
And to add to this as well, Europe regulation, even PSD2, for example, for open banking and so on, really diverge with American regulation. That's why I said this is compliant with United States regulation, and it wouldn't be compliant with European regulation, especially with GDPR right now, as is.
Yeah. You're next. Mm-hmm.
Recognize that you were talking, or if she would have known your numbers,
Yeah.
would have she have ordered the?
So conversation one is we have also from the beginning. So the demo that we've seen is using Alexa, right? So on Alexa, you have the text recognition, the voice recognition, you have the speech to text. Everything is already integrated into the platform. So I'm not contributing to any of that. Once those devices will enable also voice recognition in terms of understanding this is Pierre, they can talk to, our platform will provide that. It's not yet in a secured level where you would like to provide it as a bank. But definitely once it's going to be enabled, then we'll be more than happy to allow that.
So it looks like the demo, it's an existing customer who has an account and a device linked it, and they want an additional product. Can you talk a bit about a brand new customer who is an Alexa user who does a search for a bank?
Mm-hmm.
They want to open an account. How does that experience? How does it look like?
So this is a little bit more complex. It's actually outside of our realm, but obviously it's part of it. So we're talking about discovery, which is still an issue when we're looking at conversational solutions as a whole, both on Google and Alexa. So it's basically the SEO for voice, right? So how do I find things? There are different ways. We work both with Google and Amazon to try and see how we can promote some of our clients. If someone is looking, for example, so there are actually a couple of ways. If I'm let's say I am a Finastra client and I say that I want to check for a loan. One of the things that you can do, if I've already enabled the Finastra Bank app, Alexa can tell me, I see that you already have the Finastra Bank. Would you like to take it from there? And then I can say no, and then it can ask me if I want to take it from somewhere else. So this is one thing if I'm already a user. But even if I'm not a user, there is the invocation word, right? So I would say, Alexa, ask Finastra Bank or ask Chase or whatever. And so that's the explicit approach. So I want to talk to something specific. It's like opening an app on my phone. And then there's the implicit. And the implicit is where it's get really, really hard now. And that's what most of the companies are working on. So that if I'm saying, Alexa, I want to take a loan, what company will it suggest? And this is what.
Yeah, I think it's more about the actual onboarding experience.
Oh, so again, so the onboarding, so what we demonstrated here is a loan application. The same, you could pick any use case that you want and you could have it enabled on our platform. So maybe it's a good transition to the platform and then I can show how it actually works.
Yeah, in a nutshell, as long as there is open API in the back to do it, nothing prevents you from doing it. Mm-hmm. The question is, how do you promote it? And that's what we're going to see now.
Yeah. Any other questions? Only women. I'm taking only women questions. Come on, you have questions. I know you're smart, but still. No? Okay. So let's just take a few minutes just to walk this through, and then I could answer all of the other men questions. So this is promoting multiple agendas. This is the Conversation One dashboard. We are web-based. It's open for everyone. You don't need to ask me for access. You just go on conversation.one, or you'll just go on dashboard.conversation1. You can create your own account clicking here, or you can just log in with Google. I can do that. Hopefully it's going to work. The reason why we made it is because we actually feel that the more people that are using the platform, the better our platform gets. One of the things that our platform is providing is also an AI engine that improves the level of support and the level of responses. Oh, really? And I don't have my phone. Zachi, can you tell me what's my code? Do you want me to repeat it in different words? 927102. Yeah, that's what happens when they force you to use not your own computer. Yeah, so we have an AI engine that actually helps me to improve the response rate of the automatic result when the user is asking it. So basically what it means is that we're collecting samples from users that are using the system. The more samples we collect, obviously, the better the system can respond. And we're capable actually of improving that responses by more than 100% per flow. But let's start from the beginning. So we built the platform. It's open for everyone. And we also decided we're going to focus on financial institutions. So we built a 3-step wizard that walks you through the process until you actually get an application at the end. So we'll choose the industry in which we operate. And by choosing banking, I'm actually choosing a set of a couple of dozens of questions that are relevant for banking. So it could be anything from general questions like what's the exchange rate or ATM locations, but it could also go as deep as checking on my balance, transaction, applying for a loan, getting the rate, transferring money, paying a bill, canceling my credit card. So all of that is already built into the platform. One of the other things that we did, and then again, Pierre actually talked about the problems of APIs that companies are experiencing, especially financial institutions. Some of them don't have access to their APIs, or if they have access to their APIs, it's very difficult for them to use it. We've integrated with an API aggregator, and we are constantly connecting to more core banking solutions like Finastra to make it easier for you as the bank to connect to your APIs. So I have the business logic, I have the APIs, and now I'm choosing the devices that I want to support. So again, we started out actually with Amazon and Google. Very fast we understood that conversation is not just voice, it's a whole strategy behind it. So we've enabled also chatbots and texting, and you could use a phone solution, a messenger, and we started also integrating with live chat solutions. So one of the things that it's very difficult with chatbots, sometimes they don't understand us and then you're just losing the customer. So handing over to a real person who can continue the conversation, and not only that, continue the conversation and also know what the user said before. How many of you experience when you talk to the IVR and then you get to the representative and then he'd ask you all over again the same question of who you are, what you're asking, what's your address. So you want to avoid that situation, and the platform is providing this. So, ta-da! A magic. The conversational solution is not ready to be tested and deployed. I can check it here, and I can ask for, let's do the nearest ATM. Let's see where we can all go and get some money out. So I can go and ask different questions like the ATM and information.
You can find the closest ATM at ATM Express 7167 Worcester Highway,
Yeah.
Newark, New Jersey, Newark. Bon voyage.
You see, she's funny also. Yeah, she can also say bon appetit. So we could do like general question, and then there was a question about how we do the authentication. So if I'm going to ask, what is my, I'm so excited. Let's do just what is my account balance. I've muted her, so we'll have some peace and quiet here. But this is where the user is actually connecting their own account, and then they go through the registration process, and they can continue. They can continue and actually get information about their personal data. So this is very quickly about our solution. This is our dashboard. Again, everyone can go and access it, and this is exactly what the Finastra team was doing. They just went, they accessed it. All of the business logic is already compiled for you here. You just put the information of what the user is saying, where the response will be. In this case, for example, on the Finastra side, we provide with different services as responses. Finastra is one of the services, and any other core banking solution that we're supporting is one of the services. So this is how we did it on the front-end side. So this is what spoke back to Pierre and provided him the information. And I'm going to hand over now to Pierre to explain how all the different systems at the back, those that are confirming the authentication and those that are checking on the best rates and those that are actually were supporting the application have been working. So I'll hand it to you for the Fusion Fabric.
I don't think I need the mic. Everybody can hear me, right? Okay. Because that's annoying when you're manipulating the computer. So what we've provided to our customer, it's kind of something very similar. It comes in threefold. The first is access to OpenAPI. So OpenAPI to all our core workflow system, but also provide them with a low-code editor where you can create an app that calls those API in the backend. Okay? And then this app that you create, it will be done in a standard UXP, single place of authentication when you have access to all your core banking system behind. Then this can be published via our Fusion store, so you can monetize it and make money around it. The idea is that if like Conversation One create an app that allow us to interact with them, then this app can be monetized on our app store. Okay? So let's have a look at how you would do that. So I'm going to do the same kind of approach. I'm on fusionfabric.cloud. Going to access Fusion Creator. You have the API catalog that could help you to know exactly all the open APIs that we have. And I'm going to go to the application builder over here. So for this, well, I'm going to have to log in. I really hope it's not going to ask me for a dual factor. That's the wrong one. Okay. That's okay, I'm okay with that. Okay, so I'm going to log into the platform, and what it's going to do is show me the UX of the platform right away. Platform comes with a lot of tools to create things. So here, for example, I can create a specific UX, a dashboard. I have data as a service that's stored as column storage mechanism in order to have very fast aggregation of data. So you can extract data and access it. In the case of Conversation One, what we did is we did flow programming to, according to the intent that they sent me, direct the data to the correct services. So if I go in my flow programming platform here, what I did was, also I have a lot of different flows. I created this one here, Conversation One. So this is my endpoint, my post endpoint, and it follows the OAuth token that would be given directly by Conversation One. From here, I have a routing table according to the intent. And the way I create box are basically drag and drop. I can say, I have a new box here, and then use it directly. Then I link them. From here, I have a Phoenix box. Phoenix is one of our core workflow products at Finastra. And here on the right-hand side, you have the input. I use the user ID, email address, and the OAuth bearer token that would be given to me by Conversation One. From this, I can get account detail and balance. That's how Alexa was able to reply to me with what was my account balance and so on. But also social security number, birth date, and all the information that are related to the user. So those come back here. This is like a sample of it. And that's what I would send back to Conversation One. Sorry. That's what I would send back to Conversation One. So I have access directly to their feedback. So my output would go straight back to Conversation One, so they can build the next intent and next solution. And those different boxes, for example, Experian is not our product, but it's the one that gives me the credit report. So I created a box that access to Experian. And the way I create those boxes, I can access directly to the flow template, is another little information that I create simply by dragging and dropping boxes. So here I get user detail, for example. I get them from our Sandbox API, okay, for accessing to Phoenix. Getting the balance, I all validate through this. So what I'm trying to show you here is that basically with very simple flow programming on FusionFabric.cloud, I'm able to leverage existing core API and then create a small app that I can then deploy and then monetize through the FusionFabric.cloud. The other thing is really a common UX, where every time you log in, you have the same experience for your end users. Is this clear? Maybe I went really fast on what can be done, but so you have an idea? Yeah, go ahead.
Only because my clients are going to ask, when you guys act as a middle tier, is all this financial information traveling through your servers unobfuscated, or is it encrypted?
No, so of course it's encrypted, first of all. You're doing, so it's via HTTPS request directly to our backend. So I can show you the sandbox and all the, we're using Swagger to the zero specs to explain all our open API strategy and what is available. Then this part here is on our Azure partnership where we have like the FusionFabric.cloud area. And then from there, it goes in an encrypted manner to Conversation One as well, in and out.
Are those data stored any of your servers, or going to be temporary and
Sorry, say that again?
all this data in flight from the bank, are they stored any servers on your on-prem, on your cloud, or it's going to be gone?
That's a very good question, actually. So the data is actually stored on the core workflow system. So we're talking about Phoenix or LoanIQ or whatever software even backend. That's the core workflow system where the data is stored. Okay? The data that's going to be used in FusionFabric.cloud can be stored as column storage mechanism and so on, but that's more like data that would be report data. And the data is just in transit right now. We also have a document store as a service. We have a lot of like lower level access as a service, what we call, like we use, for example, StreamSet to access data from database, transform it, and access it. But the idea is not to store client data or important data on the cloud. The idea is to have all those data stored. And that's important for all, once again, SOC type 1 and type 2 compliance. So it's for compliance reasons mostly.
Just a follow-up question to that one. On the Alexa app itself, how do you control persistence of, let's say, PIIs? For instance, like if I say my PIN is, I don't know, 5353, usually like that, those are interpreted as, even if you suppress the card, it will show, like we understood you said this, 5353. Was that correct? Is there a way to suppress that or like prevent that?
It's not showing on the card.
It doesn't show, but
No.
so you can suppress, like you can suppress certain.
You could, yeah. And there were other questions before I started mumbling about our platform, so. Really? Okay. Yeah, so basically what we were able to show today is how through collaboration between a technology company and a bigger technology company, the possibility to having those APIs available for us, we were able to create an end-to-end solution for banks. We have around 4,000 different marketers and developers that are leveraging our platform today, and hopefully very soon all of the 9,000 clients of Finastra will be also using the platform to build their conversational solutions. I think that for now, maybe we'll just give you some time for questions. I'm not even sure how much time we
I
have.
think we're already a little bit late.
Oh, really? Okay. But
just one more thing,
yeah.
basically, I think the key message here is convenience. We heard this morning at the session that basically human beings always try to find the shortest path to everything. If there is something more convenient to do, they will do it. In this case, voice allows more convenience than going through a website or using your phone. And that's exactly what is the key message for your customer, and that's the way you can get your customer excited about your solution.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So once I build the flow, I can publish the app to the Amazon store or Google Action.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So once you completed this process, there's a click. It's a one-click process. You click on it, and we use the Amazon API and what's available on Google to have it deployed on their services.
Well, thanks everyone.
Well, I think everyone's leaving, so thank you so much.